Have you got a Blue Peter badge? No, you haven't. It's Top of the Gimmicks. I'm a radio DJ nonce. Oh, Jimmy Devil. Jeffrey Dahmer. So that's not this show. That's a different show. I haven't watched any of it yet. We'll talk about that soon. I had to finish Cobra Kai. Don't be disappointed in me. I'm Rob Campbell.
I'm your bastard, Craig Challoner.
No, I'm Daniel. I haven't really thought of anything for this time. Cornfield.
Good times. That's what we like to hear. Brutal honesty. Craig, this is Top of the Gimmicks. Over to you.
So apparently we're doing this as a radio DJ. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to
yes,
Top of
Todd
the Gimmicks.
Bettingale. Oh, fucking look. That's giving me hard on that. Us.
Top of the Gimmicks. Here we go. This week's edition of Top of the Gimmicks. We're bringing you the classic. But before we get to that, we're going to start off with a little acknowledgement to a fan.
Fuck you.
Last week's episode, we brought you the top 5 tag teams. And obviously, the 3 of us gave you a legit top 5, and we are right. Yeah. But people out there disagree. And you're allowed to do that. And we like arguing with you because you are wrong. One particular person, we can shout him out because, you know, he's one of the boys. So we're going to shout out to little Tom. Hi, Tom.
Hello, little Tom.
Hi, little Tom.
Little
Tom.
Tom is writing in from Gornal.
Tom wrote in and called us all a pack of bastards, which I think's a bit rude, to be fair. But he did. He straight up.
He was either sleep deprived or a few beers in when he sent these messages. I'm telling you, one of the two. I know Tom when Tom's fucking straight up, and I know Tom when he's had a few fucking beers or a lack of sleep. And this sounded like Tom on a lack of sleep or a few beers, and I love it.
I was okay with it. Like the fact that he messaged me straight away and going, "Dude, I love tag teams.
Love them.
I don't say you can't come on, mate. Like speak to the table leader." I'm an honorary use.
Do you know what, though?
What can I say?
Now that we've mentioned it, I forgot to say this, but we have had a fan-requested episode from Tom. The Royal Rumble 2003. And he'd actually like to be a guest panelist on that pay-per-view review.
No, he gets one or the other. That's his...
He can't have special treatment. I mean, I told him he can, but...
Yeah, but... we ain't meant to tell that on air. We was going to just say that you can't do that.
This is not shooting the breeze. Don't adjust your sets. This is Top of the Gimmicks.
We've confused these gimmicks today. These just melded into one.
So how would you lovely people out there like these? Oh, wait, you can't answer me. So, Don, how would you like the top 5 from Tom? Would you like it 5 to 1, 1 to 5, 3, 2, 4, 5, 1?
Let's go in no particular order.
Coming in at number 5.
Radio DJ, then. That's how we're doing this shit.
Yes.
No. I'll do the intros and then you can read it.
I love it. Yeah. Do it.
Can you do like
coming in hot at number 5.
The Legion of Doom.
Okay.
Oh, what a rush.
He didn't have anything added to that. It was just Legion of Doom.
Just very matter of fact. Legion of Doom.
In the style of Hulk Hogan, number 4.
Yapapai.
Mustache Mountain.
There's loads of waving. Loads of waving.
Say hello to your friend.
Hello, my mate Ben. Number 3.
Ian C. It's Edge and Christian.
You think you know me,
That was really good. I like that.
Coming in at number 2.
And at number 2, we have... I'll read it as he's put it. He's going back to his indie days. So you've got to forgive him a little bit for that. But 7 or 8 years of watching the Lucha Brothers was just incredible. So Lucha Brothers in at number 2.
Yeah.
What did I say?
Hello, we're Lucha Brothers.
No, what's that gimmick?
Hola.
No,
I'll do, cocker.
I'll do way from fucking up north.
Up north.
How do we do? Lucha, we do.
We do the fucking lucha gimmicks.
Do you like to
really good impression? I like that.
We wear masks and we get them to shout Vega. I don't know.
How long zero miedo?
That one. And the top spot on this week's chart goes to
the Axeman and the Smasher, Demolition.
Ooh,
hands down, favourite team of all time.
Beat
the shit out of each other in number 1 and number 2 spots during the Rumble. Proper team.
He did love that moment, to be fair, and I'm sure that was the same Rumble that fucking Piper won the IC title.
Yeah.
So he's got a soft spot for it. Fair play.
So, Tom, thanks for that. Love you, bud.
Yeah. And if anybody else wants to fucking try and correct us or add their own fucking spin on things, then like Tom's, he's just included like 2 indie tag teams in that list, really, including Mustache Mountain and the Lucha Brothers. I know they're mainstream now, but he's referring to when he used to watch them live.
And also,
you said, I think you're going to say what I was going to say anyway, so never mind, after you.
Okay. He also did say he wanted to give a mention to a very close number 6 on his list, and it is legit because it was that close to maybe being his 5, and that goes out to the Hunter Brothers.
Oh,
Hunter Brothers, man.
Jim, love you, Lee. I'll see you tomorrow, but actually,
see you in a few days.
No, I'll see you tomorrow.
So, you actually did.
Not when it's being recorded, not like when it goes out.
Yeah,
it's confusing.
He's wearing a jumper. Get over it.
I am wearing a jumper.
It's because of the jumper that's doing this. It's messing with everything.
I agree.
So let's keep this moving then.
Yeah, what are we doing this week?
So this week's on this week's episode, we are doing Wrestlemania.
It's a big one.
It's very.
I'm not gonna lie, it's a fucking big one because there's 38 of these bastards to choose from now, and you've gone. I'm gonna spin a wheel. It's gonna land on WrestleMania, and then you've gone. Now pick 5, you cunts.
Yeah,
that's what you've done. That's an hard task, that is. And I know that you, based on the way that you did your tag team list, would have really struggled with this. I'll be honest, I'm going to give you an insight to how I picked mine. I've gone with the ones that come to my head, and if they made me feel any sort of emotion.
Yep, that's fair.
That's how I have chose my top 5 WrestleManias.
Mine's quite similar, to be honest. I went like if something just popped into my head, a particular match, particular moment, that WrestleMania got wrote down.
Yeah.
And then I went back to it and broke the card down and decided I went way too deep into this.
Oh, I can imagine.
That it's hurt myself.
It's very furry, your list, I would imagine. Don, what about you?
Pretty much the same. Like just went with whatever I remember. Sort of going, actually, that was pretty good. Look back and I'm going, actually, yeah, that was a pretty banging night. Good and bad. Like if it makes me think of the show, even for a bad reason, it made me think of it. So, size. So pretty similar all round.
Let's go then. Let's do this.
Let's do this then. So in at number 5, I'm going to kick us off this week because I want to. Nice. So in at number 5 this week, I'm going to bring you WrestleMania 20.
Oh,
obviously opening match, Cena versus Show, US title. Yep. That's an underrated match, personally. It's a decent match, that is. We got Christian versus Jericho, which was fucking quality wrestling match. Quality match. Definitely watch that. Now, it also holds Evolution Rock and Sock. Rock and Mick will both tell you that was not their best outing. But nostalgia-wise, the Rock and Stock fucking got back together. That was fucking quality.
Yeah. That we also got going into it as well. Where'd you go out and love that? We
also got the Playboy evening game match between Tori and Sable and Jackie and Stacey. I mean, it was shit, but it was, it was Playboy evening game match that was there. So, Eddie versus Kurt is fucking amazing. If you haven't watched that, you are not a wrestling fan. That's just fact. Undertaker Kane again, obviously, because Undertaker Kane, dead good, always is. And then the best triple threat match in history, Benoit, Triple H, HBK. What's not to like? That personally, I mean, this stood out for me for the triple threat match initially because I love that triple threat match. I've seen that match a few times. I absolutely love it.
It's so good. The timing of Shawn Michaels' blade job is probably one of the best in history.
Yeah. So that's my number 5. Who's jumping on this?
Go on, I'll jump in. For my number 5, I've gone WrestleMania 19.
By Austin?
Yeah, we've got an Austin Rock. We've also got a live suicide attempt by the only man who could kill Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar. Banging main event, though. We also got McMahon versus Hulk Hogan.
Yep. Which
surprisingly was pretty good. Let's be honest. And also we got Shawn Michaels versus Chris Jericho. I'd probably argue the show stealer.
The return to WrestleMania of Shawn Michaels.
So yeah, WrestleMania 19 is my number 5.
Nice.
Okay. The two that you've mentioned come up a lot in top 10 lists. They are big favourites of wrestling journalists on sporting websites. They are in a lot of top 10s, 19 and 20, respectively. There's another one, but I'm going to wait if that pops up. None of them have popped up in my list. So 19 and 20 are not in my list at all. They are fucking great manias for very different reasons. And absolutely, I'd go back and sit down and watch them. When I think of Undertaker matches, 19's a really poor match for him. It is. But the rest of the card, with the way that they were finding their feet in the ruthless aggression era, is the best way that I can describe WrestleMania 19. And by the time they got to WrestleMania 20, it was sort of there. And then they were John Cena's fucking movement up. So US title at 20. Next year he was champ. Do you know what I mean?
21.
So no, I'm not. I'm not.
Just the way you seem like you was leading into that.
So this might be on your list. It might not be on your list, but I'm going for WrestleMania 14 at number 5. We've recently covered it. I had a great time eating some samosas, followed by some Jeff Cock Chippy on a pay-per-view review. I think the card itself is big. LOD 2000 with Sonny. You know, the Legion of Doom on their own are great. You add Sonny into the mix, it's hot. It's fucking what a Road Warrior pop that was on the night. Taka Michinoku fucking stood out. Triple H and Owen Hart had a great match for the European title. Sable and Luna tore that mixed tag team match apart. The Rock and Shamrock, even though it was nothing for the Intercontinental title, it was still a great story. The dumpster tag team title match. You know, the whole card was fucking sick, really. The Undertaker and Kane for the first time ever. And then the passing of the torch from the man that fucking broke his back. My favourite fucking wrestler of all time. Joint favourite wrestler of all time. You know how it is. You know how it is. On top, leaving on top for the WWF Championship, losing to Stone Cold Steve Austin on his way up. WrestleMania 14, number 5.
Number 14 was one of the manias that I had on my list, and it got dropped and then got put back on and got dropped because, like you said, it was quality. It was really quality. It was really good WrestleMania.
Did it land on your list on?
14 didn't, but
this is good.
If this had been like a top 10, it would have definitely been a top 10 for me. But it didn't make a top 5 for me, personally.
Okay.
Number 4?
Do you want me to go?
Go on, Rob. You could joke us on number 4.
Okay. So more of a modern era WrestleMania compared to an Attitude Era. So in the PG era, it was the night on Bourbon Street, WrestleMania 30, an absolute banger of a WrestleMania for various different reasons. The main reason being Daniel Bryan's whole entire story that night, beating Triple H in the opener, coming back in the main event to beat Batista and Randy Orton, for the World Heavyweight Championship at the time. When you think about it, that's a big as brag as Chris Jericho saying I beat Austin and The Rock in the same night, because Batista, Orton and Triple H, part of Evolution, obviously, but individually as well, are fucking legends. So for the B+ player at the time in the storyline and so on, was absolutely fantastic. And then who can forget the moment that the streak ended? Brock Lesnar defeating The Undertaker in absolute shock. The fucking stadium that was packed went silent. It was dead. You could not hear a fucking thing. Shout out to Cesaro winning the fucking Andre the Giant Battle Royal with that big fucking suplex on the Big Show as well. Rest of the card wise, when you look at it, the Usos were in a fucking pre-show match. That's just shocking compared to where they are now. You've got the Shield. They were involved. Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins defeating Kane and the New Outlaws. That was a thing. Cena beat Bray Wyatt. And then AJ Lee defeated a lot of people in a Vicky Guerrero invitational match for the Divas Championship. So yeah, WrestleMania 30, really solid WrestleMania. Number 4.
Right, I'm going to jump in with my number 4 here because I got WrestleMania 30.
Okay. Yeah.
So literally, as you say, my standouts for this, obviously, Bryan Triple H at the opener. This was
great match.
Was fucking good. We've talked about the openers. Bret and Owen for me is the greatest opener ever, but this is definitely a solid fucking contender for that. Like definitely. Cesaro winning the Andre as well.
Yeah,
should have been big things. He should have gone forward. Brock Taker. I was watching this with our friend Mr. Nash, Mr. Big Sexy himself, Kevin Nash, and after Taker kicked out to like the 12th fucking F5 and 700 suplex or whatever, we're like, okay, it's going the same way it always goes. And we was just talking, and I was just pouring a drink, and the referee's hand went down for free. Fuck me. What a moment. It was
like a death, wasn't it? It was like a death.
It was.
Like, that's the best way I can describe it, because it was just an eerie silence. Not only in that
you didn't know how to comprehend what had happened.
Yeah.
But you felt it at home too.
Yeah.
I did.
I think everyone remembers where you were when you watched that.
Mate,
you can go, fuck.
Yeah. Taker never should have lost. That was, it's Undertaker. He's not going to lose. He's not going to He's lost. What the fuck? And it's two sides of the fucking coin, this, innit? Brock was the right man, because if anyone could, it would be him. But it shouldn't have been him. He was the wrong man because he didn't need it.
Whether people like it or not, in the coming years after him beating The Undertaker, he was the main guy. Whether he was part-time or not, he was the box office attraction that made money for the company.
It was.
It was a decision based on that, to say, who can we build to beat Brock Lesnar? Well, your answer's Roman Reigns. Look where we are today.
Exactly. Like, I'm not mad at it. I was at the time, but I also wasn't at the time as well. It took a few days to fucking comprehend that entire match, to be honest. And then obviously the triple threat match. Again, I'm ending on a triple threat match, but this was fucking quality.
Yeah.
Bryan, Batista and Orton, there's not much more you have to fucking say. You nailed it home with that. So yeah, my number 4, WrestleMania 30.
Okay. My number 4, recently covered on the pay-per-view, was actually WrestleMania 10.
Yeah.
And mine, actually, because of that review, I watched it back and I was like, actually, that's really good. I enjoyed, come on. Bret and Owen start off.
Yep.
The ladder match. Granted, there is some bullshit in the show, but there is some good shit in the show as well. And I just really got into that, and I was like, more and more thought about it. I was like, actually, that's a really good Mania. Yeah. Also, anything to shit on Hogan. I'm always going to laugh about that. So
absolutely, and
everything it really was. Every segment between the match was shit on Hogan.
If we have to mention, was like, yes, Hogan was here.
And he lost.
But he lost. He's like, so happy about
everything about WrestleMania 10 being the 10th WrestleMania and being at Madison Square Garden, like WrestleMania 20, made it special.
Yeah.
So regardless of what the card was and some of the shit that was on there, like you say, because of the time that we were at, booking Lex Luger in a championship match and the Bam Bam match, unfortunately. I know Luna and Bam Bam were class and Doink was good as well, but Dink was terrible. That just took away from the match. I'd rather it had been a handicap match. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in general, WrestleMania 10 was fairly good, and obviously Brett went out on top as the new hero of the new generation.
Yeah, this was that transition.
Benoit and Guerrero on 20.
Yep, that's what I was about to say. This is that transition like there was with Eddie and Benoit.
And Brian at 30.
Brian, there you go.
Who's ready for 40?
There you go. Who is ready for 40?
Fuck, we're coming up to that as well. That's what, 2 years away?
Literally.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. Go on, Dom. What's number 3?
My number 3. WrestleMania 2000.
Ooh.
A McMahon in every corner.
Okay.
Now this one I like for a couple of reasons. Firstly, the Euro-Continental freeway match, which I actually really like that concept. Benoit, Jericho, and Angle. Throw out with that. He walks in with both belts. He's gotten on at the end of the night. I just like that. Like, that's such a stupid gimmick. Let's go.
Yeah, it was great.
The main event itself, as much as the McMahon in every corner gimmick was bollocks, and I hate the fact that Foley decided, I'll come back for this so close after his retirement.
I thought that was going to be the whole reason that he chose this.
No. I was glad to see him back just personally because he was one of the first wrestlers when I started actually watching the Fed that I got behind. And I hadn't seen him all that long before he lost the Hell in the Cell match. I was like, oh man, he's gone. He's back. Hey! So, and if I remember right as well, this is, I think, one of the first shows I'd ever watched on Channel 4 when they still had the deal.
Yeah.
So those sort of shows that were playing on Channel 4, I really had a lot of nostalgic love for. But yeah, nice. Also, triple threat tag team ladder match.
Yeah. I was going to say, please don't miss that.
I'm not missing. I'm saving that one. A lot of multi-man matches in this card, but I love this card. I think this is actually a pretty decent card. All in.
There was not a singles match at that WrestleMania.
No.
Think about
that. To be honest, I actually wrote this one down initially because of that tag match. I was like, that stood out. It was on my little corner list of a standout. And then when I went back and broke down the card, I was like, I can't justify it. For me, it was a one match. Like,
that's why I had the reaction that I had.
Yeah.
Because to me, this is nowhere near a top 5 WrestleMania. But listening to you talk about the nostalgia and the fact that you watched it on Channel 4 and things like that, and we talked about how, some of this list is going to be based on how we felt about the event, makes perfect sense.
Yeah, the second Don started talking about that, I was like, fuck, was I wrong? Because of the way you felt about it. Like, once you finished talking, I went, no, I wasn't wrong.
No, for me, you wasn't wrong.
It has no holding for me. It has no holding for me. But
the historic thing about WrestleMania 2000 is a heel went over in the main event. Triple H walked out as champion. The match itself was pretty dog shit, and loads of shenanigans as that era in WWE and the finishes.
The corner would be,
yeah. But the triple threat match for the Inter-Euro title, as you mentioned, the 2 separate belts, and the triple threat tag team ladder match, absolute standout matches that should be watched.
Yeah, 100%. I'll jump in on number 3 for this. So I'm still quite around 30 mark. I've gone WrestleMania 28.
Oh, nice.
I absolutely loved the opening match. All 18 seconds of it.
Yeah.
I thought that was fucking brilliant because we expected a fucking match there. That was going to be dead good. And he kissed AJ, turned around, took a bro kick, it's over. And I sat there like,
people were still getting into the arena, weren't they?
Yeah, people were still coming in, and you just seen a title match, and I'm like,
the World Heavyweight Championship match.
That was
because they have the
amazing.
tendency of opening up with the World Heavyweight title match at WrestleMania around this point in time.
It amazed me. It was one of the moments it just stands out. And for the right reasons, it doesn't stand out as, it was only 18 fucking seconds. It was 18 seconds. You got to see it.
It was only 18
It was only 18 seconds. You should see it. It's like seeing a UFC knockout in the like straight away. It was one of them. You need to see this, and like proper stand out for me. And so initially, that was my initial thinking. I was like, hold on, well, we got Taker Triple H Hell in the Cell on this fucker.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, we have.
End of the era. Yeah.
Was fucking amazing. That's it. End of an era. Absolutely amazing. I'm not going to overlook fucking Roxana. You know, the once in a lifetime number one. But you know, it should have been the one and done. It should have been Cena over and straight away. That's it. Simple as. It shouldn't have gone the way it did, but whatever. Kane and Orton's a match that gets overlooked a lot. And that was actually pretty decent. And then obviously Punk versus Jericho. Punk versus Jericho is a fucking standout quality match. So that's it. Number 3 for me, WrestleMania 28.
Okay. So I'm close to 28. I'm not quite at 28. I'm a little bit lower. Can you guess what the number
26.
Is? Yes, indeed.
28 replaced it for me.
Absolutely. And that was the thing. So, like, thinking about the Manias around that time, they're up there. They are quality. The production was on point at this time. They knew what they were, they knew what they were doing, and some. The Money in the Bank ladder match was still on this card. Jack Swagger fucking won it. I mean, don't get me wrong, it took him a lifetime to get the briefcase off, but that's a different story. Randy Orton, he faced Cody Rhodes, and Ted DiBiase Jr. in that handicap match.
Yeah.
The Miz kept his undefeated streak going at the time at WrestleMania.
Which is always good.
Being a big Miz fan, when he opened up to defend the tag team titles with a big show against his former tag team partner, John Morrison, and his other former tag team partner, R-Truth, that was big. Obviously,
Showmiz was underrated. I love
Showmiz was underrated. Mysterio and Punk.
Yes.
Good rivalry. WrestleMania match. Sheamus' first WrestleMania, losing to Triple H. Triple H getting in there with him. Bret the Hitman Hart returned for a match, if you can call it that.
Yeah.
He had a scrap with the chairman of the board, Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
Vince took some digs in that, though.
Absolutely, mate. The Harts kicked the fuck out of him. Bruce Hart being the referee as well, though. Absolutely. They absolutely rigged him. They kicked the fuck out of him, man. I'm not doing it unless my brother's the ref, Vince.
Vince went, you know what? Just fuck it. I'll take a beating one night. Fuck it. Come on.
And, we talked about some of those early WrestleManias with not the early WrestleManias, the early Manias with John Cena, for example. So WrestleMania 20. Batista was obviously on that card too. And the way that they led up to this, WrestleMania 26, it's John Cena defeating Batista for the WWE Championship on this card. But, you've also got Jericho beating Edge for the World Heavyweight title. But obviously, the main match and the reason that this card is so important to me is because it was Shawn Michaels' last match. And I don't care about Crown of the Jewel. You can never take this moment away, because although I didn't want it to happen, it happened. And although you don't think your heroes are going to die or your heroes are going to grow old and need to retire, unfortunately, this isn't a comic book that people can keep writing over and over and over again. These are real people doing a real job. And Shawn Michaels wanted to end his career here against The Undertaker. And that moment was special. And that's why WrestleMania 26 makes my list.
Hey, Taker Shawn 2, the day after WrestleMania 25.
All of the tears.
It 25 ended, and then Shawn was straight on the podium. Taker won another match. And then that entire year, we just built into it, and it was amazing storytelling. Amazing.
I think, did I send it you on? what did I send it you on TikTok? Was it the build for this match? Like it come. I think Danny sent it me. To be fair,
this is what nearly fucked with my list,
and it was running up the hill like Kate Bush, but by someone else, if that makes sense. And I was like, this is giving me fucking bumps, man. Yeah. I'm getting goosey over here. Do you know what I mean? And then I looked at like the cards around that time. I looked at 25, 24 was a good card. And you think of Ric Flair versus Shawn Michaels. And I was like, if I'm going to have a retirement match, there's only one match I can have. And that was The Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, that's why I took it off in the end for that reason. Because it was like, that match was amazing. And it was the perfect way to retire. But so was Shawn versus Flair.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I love you.
Yeah.
Boom. That made Marie cry.
Absolutely.
And like, she don't care. So, there's like moments like that were so fucking good and there's proper stood out. And like I said, an entire year to build that story. Mania to Mania.
We've had an Austin retirement in this list. We've had a Shawn Michaels retirement in this list. Are we going to have any more?
Are we?
Are we moving on to number 2?
So number 2, go on, Rob. Lead us straight in. Do it.
I'm going to do it. And, this pretty much gives you an indication of where we're going to go. I think my top 2 are fairly obvious if you know me and know what I love about wrestling and the WWF or WWE. And I had to make a choice. And the choice that I made was to put WrestleMania 17 as my number 2.
Okay.
I did it. And I'm fucking dead happy that I did it, to be fair. So this pay-per-view is, without a doubt, the greatest WrestleMania of all time for very many reasons. But to me, it's number 2. And I'll explain that when I get to number 1.
That's
fair. So, first of all, like, this card is immense in front of nearly 70,000 people. A Houston Astrodome, booking over 1 million buy rates as a pay-per-view. And that's because of Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock in the main event, without a doubt. That is the big match. The way that it ends, no one expects. Not one person could sit there and tell me prior to WrestleMania 17 that Stone Cold Steve Austin would be shaking Vince McMahon's hand at the end of a WrestleMania in Houston, Texas.
Yeah.
No way. I'd tell you, you're a crazy bastard. You fucking what mamba have you been smoking, pal? Because there's no fucking way in hell. You look at the rest of the card, though, right? Yeah. So fucking top to bottom, Jericho versus Regal for the IC title in the opener. Fucking the 6-man tag match is 6-man tag match, but Taz and the APA, they defeat Right to Censor.
Yeah.
Bull Buchanan, the Godfather of Alvina, Stevie Richards on the outside. That triple threat hardcore championship match is something to be proud of, to be fair, boys. Kane, Big Show and Raven did a fucking treat to that.
Yeah.
Eddie Guerrero with Perry Saturn took on Test for the European Championship. He beat him. But Kurt Angle versus Chris Benoit at a WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Also led into an amazing match. The next one from pay-per-view was the Ultimate Submission match.
Backlash.
Yep.
But we didn't need to call it WrestleMania Backlash at that point. We just need to call it. We just need to call it Backlash
because things can be their own thing.
Absolutely. China defeated Ivory. These next 2 that I'm going to give you though were fucking sick. The street fight between Vince McMahon and Shane McMahon. Was next level. Dead good street fight wrestling.
Also, I love Zombie Linda.
Oh, the story is a completely different element, and Linda McMahon is a legend and will always be a legend for that fucking skit, I tell you. But then you got TLC, baby. TLC 2. Edge and Christian, the Dudley Boys and the Hardys for the tag team titles. Wow.
Just wow.
Sheiky Baby turned up and won a gimmick battle royal.
One of the greatest gimmick battle royals ever.
I like the fact the gimmick was a shoot because his shoot couldn't get over the top rope.
Literally, can you imagine getting to the venue right? Vince has booked you, yeah, and then having the bollocks, right, to walk up to Vince McMahon.
Hey, Vince McMahon, I cannot do it.
Only as the Iron Sheik could, right? Because he was like, "Hey, Vince, baby, no Sheiky, baby, no Hulkamania. I can't go over top rope. I win the battle royal." And it was like, "Yeah, go on then, sure thing."
Fuck the gobbledygooker.
Sure, yeah, fuck the Hillbilly Jim was the last one. Sergeant sort of was like, "He ain't eliminated me, lads. Fuck that." And then Taker and Triple H, we come back to that match because X7 was fucking class. That gimmick on the camera, fucking podium was amazing. And the last ride finish out of nowhere, 1, 2, 3, boom, done. Taker carries on. Great card. Put second on my list.
Second on your list.
Yeah.
Don?
WrestleMania 30.
Okay.
I really don't need to talk about it because you both covered it. So I'm just like, the Daniel Bryan story alone. If we're talking about like shows, it's like we've gone from WrestleMania 25 to 26 with a year build up. This story arguably started at 28 with the 18 seconds match.
Yeah.
Of an, organically built heel going face and then being the biggest thing in the company.
Yep.
And that to me sold me on that Mania. And not to say the rest of the card isn't good, but there was such an cathartic feeling when he actually finally won. And just that image of him with both belts standing on the table with all the pyro in front.
It felt like it was for us as well, didn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, mate. Like the kid, was it Connor? Yeah.
Connor, yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
Like that broke me.
Yeah.
Absolutely broke me heart because no parent should have to go through that.
Oh no.
And to have Daniel Bryan as like a hero to
I've just goosed
him
up again.
and that family, he fucking gives you tears like seeing that shit. He does. And it wasn't a gimmick. It wasn't a ploy.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
It was real. They fucking love that kid.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about the Fed,
Yeah.
not just Daniel Bryan, Triple H, Stephanie. As much as they were playing heel characters on TV, that's not them. It's not them.
Mate,
that's a character. It's not the
Connor's
real person.
Connor's Curse thing now for everybody, and it's done every year. It's this time of year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, because then it goes to
amazing.
Cancer awareness.
Cancer awareness, yeah. So fucking it's amazing. We've already said I fucking love that. So my number 2.
Number 2.
I did a number 2 in the modern era. I went WrestleMania 36.
Oh,
wow. Okay.
And obviously we're
the first of the 2 nighters.
We got 2 nights. Fucking lockdown WrestleMania, but this was so fucking good. Becky for wrestling as well. The storytelling of the wrestling throughout these fucking 2 nights was amazing. Becky versus Shayna was fucking class, absolute quality. Sammy versus Daniel Bryan, you can't overlook that match. Anytime Bryan's in the ring, you have to pay attention. And the same goes for Sami Zayn. He's just amazing. Them two together, fuck, it was quality. Morrison won the triple threat tag team ladder match, and it was a triple singles triple threat.
Yeah, it was dead good.
It was fucking amazing. Absolutely,
it had to turn into that because of COVID, didn't it? I'm sure someone had COVID from one of the other teams.
Yeah,
I think it was
one of the Usos, maybe.
I was going to say
Jimmy Uso.
Jimmy was in the match.
Oh,
I think
one of the Usos.
Yeah. It was a noose anyway. So Jay got COVID, so it ended up being a triple threat, and Kofi stepped up, and Kofi, Jimmy, and fucking Morrison put on a fucking clinic in that ladder match. That's a ladder match that people are not talking about, and they should, because it was fucking good.
It don't get enough credit, does it? Because there was no fans there.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything in the Thunderdome era.
That'd have killed in there.
Everyone in the Thunderdome era wants to, like, we want to forget about it, don't we? We want to forget about it because it was COVID. Go on, sorry, Craig.
I was just gonna go with you. Like, it's because it was COVID era.
Yeah.
You stick that match on a fucking screen in a stadium and say, "Oh, you lot watch this." They'll go fucking insane for it.
Yeah,
because it was dead good. And also on night 1, Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins and that no DQ. And Kevin Owens goes up off the
fucking pirate sign gimmick.
They're good. And then the fucking Boneyard match.
Yes.
Mate, I don't give a fuck. We all know it came through fucking Matt Hardy's head initially with everything that he was doing. But the way this was done, it was done to perfection. It was a great way for Taker to fucking have that other moment, a different type of moment.
Redemption for him, really.
Yeah. Mark and Alan put on a fucking clinic.
Yeah. Alan, I love that on the live one, though.
Yeah.
Like, they've took it off now. If you watch it back, they've took it off. Yeah. Like, I've watched it back a couple of times, listening for like Alan, and you don't hear it. Like,
good. But yeah, I love that. Then night 2, we're moving Charlotte versus Rhea Ripley, which was brilliant. Fucking class, absolute class. That again, from the women again with another clinic. It was brilliant. Edge versus Orton.
Yeah, fucking hell. You want to talk about the theatrical match that you got on night 1 with AJ and Taker? That's a very similar but very different fucking
in a different way. Yeah.
Very in-ring.
Because when they're on top of that fucking truck and Edge's acting skills, obviously it's helped that he's gone and done acting because he can now sell the fucking shit out of every moment. And he does.
Yeah, Edge has got that extra gear to his fucking shit now. He's got that extra edge. Every pun intended. Like he's got that extra edge to his character now, hasn't he? Where he can take it to there. So you felt that when you're going through the truck and there was climbing up. Oh, dead good. McIntyre winning the fucking world title against Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
That was a moment. Like I sat there fucking goosebumps, fucking so excited, and there's nobody there for him.
No.
And I felt the pain for the man, and I'm like, you deserved more.
He's looking into the camera crying, saying thank you, like.
Yeah.
And you can imagine the millions of people watching that at the time.
Yeah.
Just
100%.
feeling it back for him.
You could feel every bit of that victory as he climbed that rope, like you said, at the end and looked into the camera. And then, for me, a standout was the Firefly Funhouse match.
Oh, so good. Again, another theatrical fucking masterpiece.
Yeah. That could have been
John Cena in an NWO shirt, man.
It was amazing. It's like it could have been a serious laugh at and fuck off moment, but they made it fucking brilliant. And it's like it wasn't a match, but it was a match, but it kind of wasn't a match.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
It wasn't a match. It was almost like a character assassination of Cena.
Yeah. He broke down Cena.
Yeah.
Bit by bit. Yeah.
It was great.
It was great.
We never got another one like that.
Yeah.
In that style, but it is. That's a good argument, actually. I might have to rewatch that because I remember watching that one in lockdown, living with Princess, and for 2 nights, like we stayed awake, like literally. He didn't watch wrestling. I was like, dude, we got to stay awake, Mania. And he was like, oh, I'll stay awake for a bit. And then both nights by the end, it was like, that was fucking amazing.
Had to be up for both nights, had to.
Yeah. So I think for me to see that out of someone that doesn't really watch wrestling, that's like a good sign of a good show. Because if you get someone in.
Definitely.
So
and we know crowd as well. Fucking fair play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant. Everybody on those 2 nights, both nights, they put on a clinic.
Yeah.
It was absolutely brilliant. I'm going to jump straight in with my number 1. Because I think it's kind of obvious, to be honest. My number 1 is your number 2. It's WrestleMania 17. Everything you said, it's like it is the WrestleMania, isn't it? Everything you said, like
My
Angle
way
Benoit.
or the highway.
Angle Benoit was amazing. Just stands out. Shane Vince was so fucking good.
So good.
And people don't go back to that enough. It was so fucking good. It was simple. Just beat the fuck out of each other. I love it. And I'm hoping that's the direction it's going with Ray and fucking Dominic now. It's going towards that kind of thing. Because if they've only got to look at that and say, look, that's father son, let's do this. And the video package for Austin Rock for Mania 17 is the best video package and build up ever. It's amazing. So WrestleMania 17 is my number 1. Take your pick, argue amongst yourselves.
I'll tell you what, I think mine's pretty obvious. Mine is WrestleMania 4. plus WrestleMania 13. It's WrestleMania 17. No, it's been covered. I don't need to say why. Just fucking go watch it. If you haven't watched it, what are you doing? Sort your lives out. Rob's muted himself, so this is the one I think. This is where I'd like to hear. So when Rob is available,
I feel like we know where he's going with number one, bro.
We'll let him say. Craig, did you have an honourable mention? Like, so if this was a top 6, what would have been 6?
Oh, I couldn't. I had a top 10. So 14 was in there. 12 was in there. I feel like 12 needed a little fucking nod. Brett, Shawn, fucking Iron Man match. And without overlooking it, the Hollywood fucking backlot was fucking hilarious. And I loved it. And Austin Savio is actually a decent match.
It's a dead good match.
It's 24 gets a nod for me because Sean Flair and Taker Edge. I'm pretty sure that's. I might be wrong. Rob will be able to tell us. First time Taker.
Did you say, sorry?
24.
Yeah, Edge versus Taker. Yeah.
Edge Taker. That's first time Taker used the Hell's Gate in the match as a finish. So that was dead good. 25, obviously. Punk Money in the Bank. Santina wins Miss WrestleMania. You can't overlook that. That was dead good WrestleMania. Shawn Taker won, obviously. And Matt and Jeff is another match that gets overlooked.
I hate you, Jeff Hardy.
Yep, that's the one.
That's a spot-on impression.
Jeff Hardy.
And then my other shout-out was Mania 26, which Rob added in there anyway, so I don't need to cover that one. So, yeah.
What about you, Don?
If I had to... purely because it's shit, it is a weird one. I love this because it's so bad. WrestleMania 9 in Caesar's parking lot. I don't know what it just. It's
you know what the image of WrestleMania 9. Like, if you think 1990s wrestling, you think WrestleMania 9 because it looks fucking class.
It looked.
That's the problem.
The show is shit.
Yeah, it's a dog shit show, but it looks amazing.
Like, thinking about these WrestleManias, like, one of the first images that popped up in my head was WrestleMania 9. And I had to tell myself to fuck off several times because I was like, no, it ain't going on the list. And WrestleMania 1 needs a shout out.
Yeah, it does. Of course it does. I don't know if we all agree or disagree on the worst WrestleMania, which we'll get to. But the two that haven't been mentioned that are very popular out there are WrestleMania 21 and WrestleMania 31, funny enough, which was the Seth Rollins cash-in. Great moment. 21 was fucking Batista winning the title against Triple H and Cena beating Bradshaw for the title, JBL. But my number one, or do we do the worst one first? What do you want to do? Because it's obvious what my number one is.
Well, for us it is.
For us,
okay. So I'll do it, and then we'll do the worst one. See if we all agree.
Yeah.
So my number one is WrestleMania 8. Again, to you guys, it's obvious. To me, it was a toss up between the two. So I was looking at either 17 or 8 being number one. 17 is an absolutely amazing WrestleMania to everybody. But WrestleMania 8 was amazing to me. It was my first experience of wrestling, of WWF. I was handed a videotape by my uncle, and I watched it, and I never looked back. It was literally, fucking hell, this is different to that British wrestling that I've been watching, with that fucking Big Daddy had giant eye stakes on the Saturday fucking wrestling channel on ITV. So then I got shown this, and like, it's a big stadium. Shawn Michaels is the first wrestler like out there against Tito Santana. And from there it just gets better because you get the Undertaker versus Jake Roberts, and you're like, oh. And then it gets even better from there. You get Bret Hart and Roddy Piper for the fucking Intercontinental title, and Bret's bleeding, and Piper's questioning his life if he should hit him with the bell or not. And I'm like, oh my God, this is fucking immense. This is crazy. fucking unbelievable. And then you get all the characters on there as well. So even though it's like there's not some standout matches on there by any stretch of the imagination, but when I read these names out, you'll know everybody. There's an 8-man tag that lasted for 6.5 minutes, and the guy who was presenting Family Feuds at the time did the introductions. And I remember him because he was a cocky little cunt and he was trying to be dead funny.
Alex
and like
Trebek.
I can't remember his name, but they chased him out the ring. They nearly killed him, basically. The heels did.
Oh, because he was slagging them all off, wasn't he? All the heels as they were coming down.
So it was the big... Nah, they were all in the ring. They had the jobbers entrance, but it was Big Boss Man, Virgil, Sergeant Slaughter, and Hacksaw Jim Duggan. You know every single person that I've just named there.
Yeah.
They're taking on the Nasty Boys, Repo Man, and the fucking Mountie. So they're all, again, big characters that everybody remembers. Tatanka defeated Rick Martel.
Buffalo.
The Natural Disasters retained the tag team titles against Money Incorporated. Owen Hart defeated Skinner.
Yeah.
And then, of course, never mind Hogan and Sid Justice in the main event. That should never have been the main event. The only reason it was the main event is because the Ultimate Warrior returned. Randy Savage, Ric Flair, WWF Championship. There you go. That's my number one. Now, the worst.
The Tonka model was dead good, though.
Cool. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it have been?
Yeah.
On fire. And it went less than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It was dead good.
It was one of them really short matches, and you went, oh, that didn't last long enough.
Mate, we've just covered, right? Let's context this here. Goldberg versus Conan, 1 minute 37. Shit. Yeah. Owen Hart versus Skinner, 1 minute 36. Go and watch it.
Yeah. You go 100% watch that.
Because you wouldn't think it was 1 minute 36. You'd think you'd been sitting there watching it 4 or 5 minutes because it was dead good.
Yeah. They knew how to get the crowd. They knew how to work that short time they had.
There you go.
It's brilliant.
Worst WrestleMania in history. I'm going to throw it out there right away. It was WrestleMania 11.
Okay. Don?
I'm going to say 4.
Oh, okay.
Fucking hell. As a tournament, man.
As a tournament, man, yeah, I was not there.
That surprised me.
Surprised me.
I think 4 is really bad. The end's amazing. That is the only saving grace of it, but that's it.
Yeah, that's quite surprising actually. I narrowed this down to 3, and it was 2, 9, and 11. Those are my 3, and then I ended up on 11 in the end. WrestleMania 2.
It's a shit show, ain't it?
It's just
across the 3 locations.
Hogan
was just
Bundy,
a gimmick.
Yay! Like fucking hell.
They
chucked him in a cage to try. Yeah, they chucked him in a cage to try and make something of it, but it just didn't do anything. Like Savage versus George the Animal Steel. Nah, the standout match on that entire card was the Battle Royal.
Yeah, it was a nothing Mania. To be fair, the standout for me on that entire thing was George eating the fucking turnbuckle.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Like, other than that, it was a nothing Mania. And then obviously, we all love taking the piss out of WrestleMania 9. And it was shit start to finish, but it's iconic. And no matter what, no matter how much we try and tell ourselves we hate it, we always go back to WrestleMania fucking 9. It's always there. Yeah.
It's so bad. It's sort of so bad it comes back on itself. It's sort of like, in an ironic way, I actually do.
It's almost a Shocknado WrestleMania 9 is.
It is.
Nice.
It really is. And
yeah,
I like with that.
100% WrestleMania 11.
So this might have been a really long episode of Top of the Gimmicks, but we hope that you've stayed with us because it is WrestleMania. It is a big one. So when it's going to be something with this magnitude, we're going to give a little bit more rationale to why our choices are our choices. However, again, as we said at the start of the program, if you don't agree, fucking get your listing and put some rationale behind it. And then we'll tear it apart next week. But Craig, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's time to spin that wheel for next week.
Who wants to give us a spin?
Go on, Rob. I'll let you do it this week.
Oh, Rob gets a spin.
You know, like that fucking Price is Right gimmick. I felt like
Are you good? A classic technique, though.
Oh, it was beautiful. That was beautiful. But
I'm going for fucking 100. I'm going for 100.
Fucking.
It's all right. The wheel froze as he spun it, ladies and gentlemen.
I'll be hit that hard.
He hit it that hard, it froze. No, the wheel
it.
has spun, and we have hit. Oh, fuck me. You thought WrestleManias were bad. We've got Royal Rumbles.
Fuck. Right, can we just clarify something now? Entire event or the Rumble match itself?
You always have questions.
I have to ask.
Fuck me.
No, the actual Royal Rumble match itself.
Cool.
Not the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, because we all know it's 2000.
Yes, that is true.
True. The Royal Rumble match itself.
Okay.
I'm not looking forward to attempting that one. I'll be honest.
Hard. Really
that
hard.
One, I'm going to say right now, is harder than doing WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And WrestleMania took me over 5 hours.
With the women's ones as well involved, he's going to be hard. He's going to be hard.
Yeah.
I might have to actually sit down and look back at some of these.
I should have took that off the list.
Rather than going off the gut. Okay, well, that has been top of the gimmicks. I've been Rob Campbell.
And I have been your bastard, Craig Challoner.
And I'll be regretting every decision Craig made. Daniel Bryan.
Fucking perfect timing. That absolutely fantastic. I love everything about it. Get some more Malibu and Coke, don't you?